Hey folks, welcome back to the Electronics Bench. Well, I hope I've got a little bit better sound today than usual. I finally found my transmitter for my wireless mic that I've had for quite some time. It was on the shelf. I don't remember putting it there, but in any case, what I'm bringing to you today, I've got a couple things, two of the same things in the mail finally. Something I ordered I think in the beginning of November. You can see their little modules. What they are is a Bluetooth module, a 5-volt jobby. And what my plan is, originally when I ordered these, was to convert my shop stereo, which is an older Pioneer receiver, to allow for Bluetooth operation. But I figured I'd order 2 of them, so I have a couple on hand, and maybe that JVC portable stereo I got I'll convert, or we'll see. Don't know if I'll convert that or a different stereo. We'll have to I'll make a decision once I figure out how these work. But my task tonight is to see how these work, and what I'm going to do is I've got a couple amplified speakers here. I'm just going to wire these up for power, hook them to the amplified speakers, and then try pairing my phone to it and see if they work. Now you can see this has headers on them, pin headers. I'll bring it into frame. We'll see. I don't know if you can. You should be able to maybe make that out if my camera will focus. There you go. You can see what each pin does. So it needs 5 volts in. There's a ground. There's left and right. There's a mute and an LED. So I'm not sure. This came with no instructions whatsoever, so I'm going to be kind of just faking my way through this video. But I think the mute, if you ground that pin, it'll mute, and I think the LED is just for power, tells you when you've got a connection. So let's see if we can make these work. Now for 5 volts, it's going to use this eBay voltage converter. Is it a buck converter? I've got 12 volts in, old power supply from a computer server that I'm going to feed it. And if I plug it in, I've already preset it. Sorry for if you hear the noise from power supply, is a little noisy, but you can see it's set to 5 volts, and I've got it set way down to 50 milliamps just to be safe. So I'll just unplug that. What we'll do, and I'm also going to need a way to connect this jack to this guy. Now I don't want to cut this wire or anything, so I'm going to have to look through my hoard and see what I can find for a stereo headphone jack, and maybe I can pull something out of a piece of equipment and wire it onto here. And as well, I'll here's the link for this particular board I got in case you're interested. So I'm going to go look through my hoard, see if I can find a phono jack, and I'll be right back. Alright, here's what I found. This is the first microphone wireless setup I got, and this thing is utter garbage. eBay. Don't buy it because that is just, it's junk. You get a bunch of humming and whatnot, so don't waste your money. So let's bust into this and we can steal that guy. Well, that's some old school technology, but we can use, I don't think this is a stereo jack, but it'll still work for testing purposes that I'm going to do here. Let's get that off of there. There's really not much else I'm going to salvage off of this, except maybe the switch. And I don't know if you can see in the frame, hi cat, off the bench. Cat seems to think she owns the shop. Boy, that's some crusty old solder on there. Voila, one jack. Now I'm just going to have to figure out which pin is which. And I can hook, I think, both left and right up, since I'm sure this is a, well, maybe it's a stereo jack. Guess we got to find out. Alright, I determined that it is a mono jack. This is your common and this is your sound. So I'm just going to take my little board here and get my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. Eyes aren't getting better with age, that's for sure. I'm just going to get a little bit of wire out of the old wire drawer and connect it up. Obviously use some black for the common, and what the heck, I'll use white today. White for that. And like I say, this is just a test to figure out how to use this board. I got to prove that it works before I try to hack it into a any sort of system. Let's get this here. Might as well use this guy, make it a little simpler on myself. Now I'm just going to solder right to the pins here. Left, ground, tin that. Okay. Gonna have to use 2 black wires. I'm gonna tin this first and then trim it back and hook it up. Sorry about the background noise again. I think the heater's kicking in. It's winter time here, not very warm out, but I'm sitting here off frame with my toque on my head. But now we're just going to temporarily hook this up. Like so. Get a piece of red for the power as well. And I forgot, this stuff is impossible to strip because it's a Teflon. Is it Teflon wire? So it's got a high heat tolerance. The insulation, it's good stuff, but not the easiest to work with. I'm supposed to use a heated strippers for it, but there we go. So that's what I can hook up to my variable supply. This will be the common to the jack, and the white wire. Not a big fan of those strippers either, but I'm doing this quick and dirty tonight. Still going to be a long video of me yapping though, I'm sure. So I'll fast forward as much as I can. There we go, that's the left side. Now I'll take these two guys, trim them, well, don't have to trim them to length because the black one needs to be shorter anyhow. Yeah, that stripper is breaking the wire. Ugh. Let's cut that back. Maybe if I do it a little slower. I adjusted it so it's not pulling as hard. That's better. I'll tell you, I'll be surprised if this works. I'm not expecting high hopes, or I don't have high hopes here, and trying to find info on these boards, it's pretty tough. But I'm sure I could find something based on the chipset. Alright, I've got that hooked up. I'm just going to mount this on here for safekeeping. Now all I need to do, I'm going to trim that back. I'll have to examine the board and see if that LED connection has any sort of current limiting function on it, which would mean you could just hook an LED straight up to it. Be nice if it did, but I guess I got lots of LEDs. If I blew one up, it wouldn't be a big deal. That should be all we need. I'm gonna plug the little set of speakers in. Just move my old fluke meter out of, well no, I'll probably need this. With, even though I've used this guy multiple times, I always like to check the voltage output on it before I hook it up to whatever I'm powering. So let's do that now. Plug in the noisy power supply. Press OK. Green light comes on. Yeah, 4.98 volts. Perfect. Do have this old wire on here which I can remove. And then I can hook this up the wrong way and blow it up. Like so. Alright folks, I think that's got her. I'm not going to hook the speakers up yet. Going to power it up and we'll see if it goes into current limit or not, but this will show that it's drawing current. I'm paranoid, but I guess they're only a couple bucks each, so here we go. Here goes nothing. Ah, it's not in the current limit mode. Oops. Can't remember. Yeah, there we go. It's taken 27. Oh, there it went into current limit mode. I wonder if that's when it's pulsing to look for. Yeah, it's doing some sort of pulsing thing. Probably to look for a Bluetooth device to pair to. I turn the current limit up to 100 milliamps. Turn it back on. I don't know if you can see that. It's bouncing around a bit. but it's doing something. So let's take a look at, turn the Bluetooth on and see what well, Bluetooth's already on. Let's go in there and see if we see anything. Oh, look at that, folks. Can you see it? Too much reflection. Win 668. Sweet. So I'm going to watch the current while I pair to it. It's pairing. Haha. Connected for call and media audio. We might have success, folks. So last step is we're going to turn these speakers on. Let's plug in the speakers and see if we get any output. Now this will be the oh, I don't want to play it for long. It works, folks. Well, I'm impressed. I didn't think this would work for me. So, calling that a complete success. So my next step is to try to hack this into one of my stereos, which I'm going to have to drag off the shelf. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, damn cat, pick an input, one of the inputs like the tape or CD or one of them, and we were going to wire this Bluetooth into it, and I'm going to have to find 5 volts in the stereo or any sort of DC voltage, because I think, let's see here, where are they? I think in here. Sorry, I'm off camera here, looking through my parts drawer. I should have, I think I have some LM 7805s, which are 5 volt linear rectifiers, but I'm not sure where. They're not rectifiers. Cat. Get. Sorry about that. 5 volt linear regulators. I have some somewhere in my hoard, so I'm gonna have to hunt those down, as well as pull the stereo off the shelf and get this bad boy wired up and make it work. So hopefully you find this interesting, and until then, take care and talk to you later.